C. Payne asked me to go over this particular video, make charges, police agents, and attorneys go away fast. He asked me to go over it, and I decided to do it not because my primary focus is in debunking charlatans, liars, and idiots like TJ, but because it plays in well with what people like Snooker B try to do with definitions. Anytime you have to use 4 different dictionaries, this is the law dictionary, this is the free legal dictionary. I look at this right here, that strip right there, and then yeah, the free dictionary presents that strip right there, and the free dictionary presents. So it's the free dictionary. Maybe it's on the legal tab. We don't exactly know when he's looking at it. We just don't know because he's a charlatan and he doesn't want to give you URLs or anything like that. Do your own research. He's a liar and a fraud. And he can sue me if he thinks that he's not, and I guarantee you I'll win. And then he uses US Legal, another legal dictionary, and he finishes up with thelaw.com. 4 dictionaries. And why did he have to use 4 dictionaries? Because he needed each one to say very specific things. He needed this dictionary, which uses Black's Law Dictionary, free online legal dictionary, 2nd edition. 2nd edition was from 1910, because he needs it to say outside. Has to be outside. Now, the stupid thing about this definition of foreign is that your children would be foreign to you. Your parents would be foreign to you. The underwear that you're wearing is foreign to you. I'm sure you could see the problem with that. It's a silly way to use the word. And if he went to the free dictionary, he would see that foreign is that which belongs to or operates in accordance with another nation, territory, state, or jurisdiction, as in the case of non-resident trustees, corporations, or persons. I also love they misspelled indigenous and another. It's a great, it's a really good, it's a solid dictionary right there. That's great. They may have misspelled other things. I don't care to look, but yeah, terrible. This is the 2004 edition, the 8th edition of Black's Law Dictionary, and this is their definition of foreign: of or relating to another country, or of or relating to another jurisdiction. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's a solid definition, but he needed other, or I know he needed outside. That's what he needed. And then somewhere around this point, somewhere about right in here, he says that municipal corporations have to register with the District of Columbia. Citation needed. He says it, he drops that as a factoid, but then he never backs it up. Municipal corporations, cities, are incorporated under the laws of the state that they're in. They're incorporated either under the statutes of that state or the constitution of that state or some combination thereof. They are not incorporated under federal law. They're not incorporated, and the District of Columbia doesn't have the power to incorporate a city or anything like that. So I don't understand why he would even believe that the District of Columbia has some sort of power to incorporate cities in other states. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense. But then he chooses the Free Legal Dictionary's definition of municipal corporation, which is long and windy, when he could have just stuck with his first the law dictionary and looked up what is a municipal corporation, and he would have seen it's a title given to a public corporation, but he needed it to talk about, businesses. I have the power to conduct business with the private sector. It is not in their ability to conduct business that is the focus of a municipal corporation or a state government or the federal government, all of which are corporations. The function of a government corporation is to conduct the business of the government. And by business, it doesn't mean making money. By business, it means conducting transactions. The city may need to buy new patrol cars for the police. It has to buy them. That is a transaction. It is conducting business. It may have to replace the bulbs in its streetlights. Maybe it has its own people, but it still needs to buy the bulbs. Maybe it has to hire outside contractors to do it, in which case it is conducting a business transaction. It's doing business. Again, cities and states do not make money by making arrests. It is a net loss to the city. It is a net loss to the state to have people committing crime. If everybody stopped committing crimes, there would be so much money available to do other things. So, yeah. Anyway, the end result, where he's going with all of this, is the Foreign Agents Registration Act. He thinks, so there's two stupid things that he thinks. Number one, he thinks that police officers and judges and mayors all need to have their oaths of office with them to present upon demand, and they don't. And if he thinks they do, then he needs to, again, cite a law, cite a case, cite anything, but you can't because you don't have anything. He's a liar and a charlatan. He says these things. He's showing you all these definitions, so you think that he's being legit. But he's showing you stupid definitions that don't apply to anything, and he's dropping all these factoids underneath them without any substance to them at all. But this is his little coup de grace. This is what he thinks that is going to get you out of tickets. If you just ask the judge for his foreign agents registration information. Oh, you're not registered as a foreign agent? Wait a minute. You're outside of me, so you're foreign, and you're an agent of the city. Therefore, you're a foreign agent. The city has jurisdiction that's different than me. I don't know how he gets that, but he does. If you're in the city, you're within the city's jurisdiction. There you go. The city police can arrest you if you're in the city. The state police can arrest you if you're in the state. The federal police can arrest you if you're in the country. It's pretty silly. Anyway. So the problem is he never goes over, he never goes over the actual Foreign Agent Registration Act, which one would think one would. He goes over the instruction sheet, but he doesn't go over the Foreign Agent Registration Act. That's because he's a liar and a charlatan. This is the actual foreign registration of foreign propagandists. This is the Foreign Agent Registration Act. All right, so a foreign agent, or the agent of a foreign principal, means any person who acts as an agent for a foreign principal, essentially. But a foreign principal, foreign, doesn't mean anybody outside of you. It means the government of a foreign country and or a foreign political party. We know what those are. UKIP would be a foreign principal. The UK would be a foreign principal. a person outside of the U.S., unless the person is a U.S. citizen and domiciled in the U.S. So if you move to France and you never intend to come back, you no longer have a house in the U.S., then you are a foreign principal at that point. So if you hire an agent to represent you in some transaction in the U.S., then they would have to register. But if you still have a house in the U.S. and you plan on coming back, and that house is your domicile, like you go to France on vacation, even for a year, you're still a U.S. citizen and you're still domiciled in the U.S. So you're not a foreign agent. And then this part is a little weird. A person or such person is not an individual and is organized under or created by the laws of the United States or any state or any other place subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and has its principal place of business in the United States. So you're not a corporation, you're basically a sole proprietorship. So like the law offices of Merbeast would be a sole proprietorship if it's not incorporated or a limited liability company or something like that. But that would be what they're talking about. It's where it's just me, it's just my business. And then they go on to go over partnerships, associations, corporations, organizations that are organized under the laws of or having their principal place of business in a foreign country. So they're talking about foreign countries. So, something from a foreign country would be a foreign principal. A person who's not a U.S. citizen and who's overseas, that's a foreign principal. A company that's not a U.S. corporation or has its principal place of business overseas, that would be a foreign principal. So if you are an agent of that foreign principal, then you'd have to register. But it doesn't apply to municipal corporations. I know he wants it to, but it doesn't. There are no magic words. Words have meanings, and you look up the best meaning that most closely fits what you're looking at. So of the ones that I have here, obviously there are newer versions of Black's Law. But you find the words that have the right meaning in the context that they're being used. You don't get to pick which definition you're using. You pick the one that matches the context it's being used in. That's what a judge is going to look at. He's going to say, well, obviously the U.S. isn't thinking anybody outside of you is foreign to you, so therefore they have to register under this. That wasn't the intent of the act, so they're going to just discount that. That's not the right definition for this. And that's where people like Snooker B go wrong. That's where TJ is just a charlatan and a liar. So he's picking the wrong definitions on purpose to try to mislead people. But it won't work. It hasn't worked. If you think it's worked, show me the citation, show me the case where it's worked, and we'll go from there. But until you do, then any amount of times of you saying, oh yes, it has worked, honest, I know a guy who knew a guy who did it and it worked, then no, sorry, no. And just because you did it and they ended up dropping the case doesn't mean they dropped the case because you did it. So that won't work either. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.